All right, hi everyone. Thank you for joining the Kuali Research June Hot Topics webinar. I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Andrea Martin and I am a trainer and client support analyst here at UCSD, and I helped with the ESR Kuali Research Project. I helped with a lot of the Kuali Research Learning Labs, so you might have seen me there if you attended one of those. If this is your first time attending one of our monthly Hot Topic webinars, our goal with this webinar series is to go over some of the common questions we are receiving from UCSD's Kuali Research Help Desk. That way we can show you all some of the best practices and how to perform those tasks. If you have any questions as I'm going through, please feel free to type your questions into the chat. Pam Talarita, who is also on the OCGA training and client support team, will either answer them in the chat or also chime in throughout this training. We'll try to answer any questions you have as best as we can, and we'll also reserve some time at the end of the webinar for questions. And I'll provide you with some different ways you can reach out to our UCSD Kuali Research Training and Client Support team for any questions you might have on Kuali Research. So let's get started and take a look at the agenda. Today we're going to focus on how you can search for sponsors, how to remove locks on proposals, which we have covered in the past, but it is a frequent question that we do receive, so we'll go over it again today. And also where to find Kuali Research Knowledgebase Articles. So I'm going to jump into the Kuali Research stage environment. And this environment is pretty similar to the production environment that you all use, with the exception of a few things. And so right now I'm in the Create Proposal screen, and over here we have the sponsor field. And if you're not sure what your sponsor code is or the exact name, you can start by typing in what you do know is probably in the title. But if you're still not seeing the results you want to see, to the right of this field, the sponsor field, you see a magnifying glass. So you can click on that. And then what comes up is a lot more fields that you can use to search for your sponsor. So I think that the easiest way to search for your sponsor is to type in what you know is probably in the title in this sponsor name field, but then also put asterisk before and after what you type in. That way you have a wildcard search, just like an EPD. So I'll put Stanford, and I'm putting an asterisk before and after. And then I'll just click on the blue search button at the bottom of the window. Perfect. And then when we search, we have all of those sponsors listed that are affiliated with what we just entered. And then in the left-hand column under Actions, we can just click on the blue Select button for the sponsor we'd like to choose. Perfect, so we selected it and it took us back to our Create Proposal page. And now we see in the sponsor field, we have the sponsor code and the entire sponsor name for what we wanted to enter. Perfect. So are there any questions, Pam, or anything that you'd like to add about searching for the sponsor?
I don't have any questions, and there are none in the chat. Does anybody else have any questions they want to put in the chat real quick before we move on to the next subject? I think you're safe to move on, Andy.
Perfect. So now we'll move on to unlocking a proposal. So in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, I'm just going to click to expand the menu. And I'm going to go up and click on this Common Task button. And then I'll click on Common Task. And then from here, what we want to look for is this first Quick Links card. And under quick links in the common task page, you can go to this last section here that says locks. Perfect. So now we're in our lock lookup page. And from here, we see that there's a few different fields that we can use to search for your lock, but you really don't even have to enter any information in the fields. You really just need to click on search down here. But it's also important to note that you will only be able to see the locks that you have on a proposal. So that means if you're working with someone and they lock the record, you will not be able to remove that lock yourself, but you can reach out to that person and ask them to go into the lock page and remove it themselves. With my title, I'm able to remove locks from both myself and others. So when I click search, you'll see I have that option, but you only have the ability to remove your own locks. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and click search. And now we see all of the locked proposals here. Again, with my title, I can see other people's locks, but here you would see all proposals associated with your account that are locked. And we have a column for lock owner, lock descriptor, the generated time of the lock, and a document number. So those columns will provide you with information on what record has been locked and the time it became locked. So to delete, you would just go over to this left-hand column over here under actions, find the lock that you would like to delete, and just click delete. Perfect, so I deleted my lock and it brought me back to the common task page. So now whoever I locked out of that proposal can now go in and edit the proposal. Are there any questions about deleting locks?
I had one question, but, and so I'm just going to reiterate what the person asked. She's asking what is a lock and what would be the reason to lock. So a lock means that you can mean a couple things. One, if several fund managers or people that are allowed to be working on your proposal are in the proposal, one of them didn't log out properly, like click close at the end of it, then that would lock the proposal for somebody else. It also could mean that nobody else is on your record, but you locked it because you didn't click close and then log out. So you're not really selecting lock by any, by choice. You're locking the record by typically not logging out correctly, or that someone else is using the record. That could be your SPOT analyst because you've already submitted it and they're looking through it, that kind of thing.
Perfect. Thank you, Pam. Great. So next, we'll move on to where you can find knowledge base articles. So we've started writing knowledge base articles on how to perform certain tasks in Kuali research. And to get to those, you can either go to the homepage of the research portal where you currently submit tickets. And if you have WalkMe, you can get there by going to up here where it says guides, resources, help. There's a submit ticket button, and that takes us to the research services and support page. But since we're not trying to submit a ticket and we just want to get to the home page, we'll see up here up at the top, we have these breadcrumbs. I'm just going to click on home. And we're in the home section of the research services and support. If you wanted to look up a knowledge base article, you can start by typing in the search field some keywords. Or another way, you can look at the articles we currently have. In this bottom center of the screen, we have this find answers icon. And if you click on that and scroll down, here we have a list of our 4 articles that we currently have. And then an even easier way to get to this page, if you're in Blink and you search Kuali Research, this is the first page that comes up. And in the lower left-hand corner of the page, under Updates and Resources, under Resources, we have our Knowledgebase articles, the last link listed under Resources. So again, if we click on that, it'll take you right to our knowledge base where you can browse different articles that we currently have. For instance, how to label COVID-19 related proposals, how to add non-employees to the address book. We even have one for how to unlock a Kuali research record. And if you have any suggestions on articles that we could write that you think would be really helpful to yourself and other users, again, in Blink, if you type in Kuali Research, it'll take you to this page. And in the lower right-hand corner of the page, we have all of our help desk information. And we'd be happy to hear any feedback you have on any future articles you might be helpful. You can reach out to us through our live chat. You can submit a ticket by reaching out to us over email, or again, going to our support and services research portal. Or if you have any questions at all, this is a great way to reach out to us. Phone number, live chat, or submitting a ticket.
Andy, we do have a question. Can you show how to reach I believe the knowledge base from inside of the Kuali research record again?
Yeah, exactly. So if you have WalkMe installed on your browser, you'll have this guides, resources, and help button appear at the top. If you don't have WalkMe installed, you can again reach out to our help desk and we'll provide you a download link. So I'll just click on Guide, Resources, Help. And then here at the bottom, we have a Submit Ticket button. So I'm just going to click on that because I know it'll take me to the Research Services portal. And then now that I'm in the Research Services and Support portal, I don't want to submit a ticket. So I'm just going to go to the home screen, which I'm just going to get there by clicking home over here in the upper left-hand corner. And now that I'm in the home screen, I can use the search bar to look for specific articles. Or in the bottom center of the screen, I can click on Find Answers, and it'll show me all of my all of the articles that are offered currently. Perfect. And then, of course, the easiest way to get here, you can just go into Blink, type in Kuali Research. This will be the first page that comes up, and we have a direct link to our knowledge base articles right here under Resources. Perfect. Do you have anything to add, Pam, or any other questions?
There's no more questions in the chat, but if anybody would like to type one in the chat that they have a burning question on, we do have some time left. So we're happy to take your questions and try to answer to the best of our ability.
This is Mike. I had a quick question. So I just wondered your best practices on finding your proposal quickly. I go through search proposals, and then I do all this, and I click on the date to pop the newest ones. But is there any way to like quickly have it available so you can go to it constantly?
Yeah. So under Common Tasks, where you said you would go to search proposals, I think the easiest way, you could also go to all my proposals, and then over here to the right-hand column, you see proposal create date. You could, if you have a long list of proposals, which I'm sure you do, you can just click the arrows to the side and it'll bring up your most recent proposals. But what I personally think is the easiest way, if we go back over to Common Task by clicking on this check mark again. So in Common Task, under this first quick links card, if you click on the first link under quick links that says action list, that'll have all of your proposals that you're currently working on. So I think that would be the fastest and easiest way for you to access your proposals.
I have another question, Andy. Is there a way to download or print an approved full proposal record in KR?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Yeah, off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we can look into this for you.
Darlene, I know that question's from you. And when we send out I believe we post the recording, or do we send out an email, Andy, at the end of this? We will have that question answered and let you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions?
Hi, I have two questions. The first question is, when you don't have an actual budget to submit with a proposal, since the budget is technically going to be needed at negotiation stage, what kind of notes do we need to indicate on the budget screen? Or is there any way to put that?
I think that's, Pam, correct me if I'm wrong, is that something that should be asked to SPOS?
Well, actually, yes, it is, but I believe submitting uploading some form of your budget is required by the SPO office. I'm going to ask one of the SPOs that I see on there, Trevor or Lisa. It is required to have at least a placeholder and have communicated with your SPO that there's some kind of a budget in there, right?
Yeah, so they've given us the federal amount and the cost share that we would be required to meet, but they're not asking for a detailed budget at the proposal stage or when we're submitting it.
They're not asking for a detailed budget in using the detailed budget system in KR, but they are asking for you to upload the budget. So you're going to put your summary budget in KR, but you need to have some other form of your budget uploaded. That's my understanding.
Okay. And then the second question is also when we're submitting a proposal via an email, for example, if we're the sub, I do see that there is a delivery information and submission description. Is that just where we would then type out all the emails of who needs to be sent the files, or is there another tab that we need to fill out?
I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, I think the best way, if you do kind of want to keep track of how you will be submitting your proposal, if you would like, you can enter that information into the submission description field. Like in the sample one, for instance, I just put submit via Grant@Heart online system. But you can go into more detail if you would like.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And if anybody has more questions that they think of later, again, feel free to reach out to us through our help desk. We are happy to help.
I'm going to answer one more question. I'm sorry. If you've copied a proposal and you want to delete it, you cannot delete it, but you can cancel it. There's no delete of a proposal in KR, but you can cancel it. And that would be on the summary submit screen. There's a button that says cancel. There you go.
Right here in the bottom center of the page, cancel proposal.
Just make sure before you click cancel that you want to cancel it, because then it is canceled and you cannot bring it back.
This is Mike. I just wanted to point out about that question about printing. When you're working a proposal, I'm not sure, but if you search on all your proposals you already submitted and you click on it, then there's a tab where you can, if you have view, and then on top of that, it gives you a print option to do that. So if you were to go on ones you've already completed, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in my stage environment, so.
Right, and then you go over here on the left in the actions.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's print up on the top, you'll see on the right there under next to data validation.
So it's probably not showing because we don't have anything in there. This is just a kind of a shell of a proposal. But we'll flush that out, and thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Sometimes it's hard to remember every little thing in KR.
But they could, it makes me quite, in the past, we want a placeholder for the full application, right? And then in EPD, and then we would insert that. Is this the still practice now? And what are we be inserting? I know this is an ad hoc question, but.
I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. Can you say it again?
Oh yeah, in the EPD system, you wanted to have a placeholder so the final full application could be uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered in this case, what would we put that placeholder here in KR, but then what is put in there? And is that something that the HISPO and OCGA takes care of if it's still a practice?
I think that you have to put the placeholder in there, and then you can work with your SPO to swap it out once it's been routed, or once it's been, once it's at the SPO.
Okay, thank you guys for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Perfect. Do you have anything else to add, Pam?
I don't, and it doesn't look like any more questions are coming in.
Okay, perfect. And again, if anybody thinks of a question at a later time, please reach out to our help desk. We're happy to help. And thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you all have a great afternoon. Thank you.